I'll not read it to you, but inspired your fellow Rotarians with your musical art. What an accomplishment. The wealth of Rotary experience that you have accumulated all these years, added to the divine musical gift that heaven has bestowed upon you, make you an exceptional lady of whom we are all proud. I ask you to keep sharing the magic of your life with all the people who have the privilege of meeting you, since mankind is our business. And that's from Mr. Richard King. Now we have one other special greeting. This comes from one of Gracie's former students who was unable to attend tonight's program because of the press of her own activity. But we wanted to hear from her, and so to the First Lady of Monmouth Music, from the First Lady of Monmouth Theatre, here is a message from Helen Wagner-Woolley, Monmouth College, class of 1938, of the longtime star of the daytime television drama As the World Turns.
Good evening. On behalf of Monmouth College and the Monmouth and Galesburg Rotary Club, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Orpheum Theatre for this historic event. I would dearly love to have been here in person to share in tonight's tribute, but my work as Nancy Hughes on As the World Turns makes that impossible. So I'm doubly happy to have the opportunity on the eve of her 100th birthday to congratulate Gracie Peterson on this momentous milestone. I first encountered Gracie Peterson in the fall of 1934 when I came to Monmouth College from Old Texas and enrolled as a freshman. My ambition at the time was a career in music, having been inspired by a favorite aunt who sang on the Red Path Corners popular circuit and incidentally graduated from the Monmouth Conservatory. Gracie, who as a child often performed on the Chicago circuit stage in Monmouth, was a lot like my aunt, a born performer. A fact to which Monmouth Rotary can readily attest her role of playing piano for their weekly meetings, as she has done for 80 years and counting. Although I never took piano lessons from Gracie, I was a member of her second church choir, a group she directed of amazing energy and verve. Now, I've been told of her offer of $5 to any student who did not miss a rehearsal. I can't remember that because I can't imagine any one of us missing rehearsals, working with Gracie far too much. Perhaps the most influential in Gracie's life was Miss Edna Browning Riggs, a gifted musician and disciplinarian. Riggs also had a profound influence on my career, taking me to New York the summer of my junior year, as she had done the year before with Gracie, to study in the master piano class under Adrian Jason. When the new Wells Theatre was built on the Monmouth College campus 12 years ago, I had the honor to serve as national chairman of the fundraising campaign. For me, one of the most satisfying moments of the experience was being present at the dedication, in which the building's striking front portico was named in honor of Grace Gawthrop Peterson. It was entirely hidden, since a large portion of the money raised for the new theater was donated in Gracie's honor by her former students. So now, whether you're a former student, a friend, or a fan of this remarkable lady, it's time to relax, reminisce, and enjoy Amazing Grace.
the incomparable Gracie Peterson by singing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. this wonderful night of music include the Monmouth Galesburg Rotary Chorus. They'll be performing tonight under the direction of C.P. Peterson, Monmouth College class of 1935, who has worked with Gracie at Rotary and elsewhere for many, many years, and accompanied by our friend Leo Raymond.
So wonderful to see all you guys. Thank you, everybody.
he narrates a look back at Gracie's world of the early 1900s.
It's a year before the Wright brothers will make their historic flight to Kitty Hawk, and Henry Ford will introduce the Model T. Teddy Roosevelt is in the White House, and Scott Joplin is delighting the public with his newest ragtime composition, The Entertainer. On March 2nd, near the Meskwaki Indian Reservation in Dysart, Iowa, Charles and Josephine Gawthrop welcomed their sixth child, a girl named Grace. Like many farm families at the time, large families are the rule, and Josephine will eventually have 7 more children. The Gawthrops are ordinary folk, and just manage to get by, living off the land. When Charles hears talk of more fertile soil to the south, he packs up his family and moves to Missouri. Conditions are not much better there, and soon the Gawthrops move again to Monmouth. Monmouth College today can rejoice in Charles Gothrop's decision to come to Monmouth, for he brought with him that small girl, that ordinary, sweet little child. No one then, least of all herself, imagined what a remarkable life was in store for her, but it would prove to be amazing. Amazing grace. Growing up on the east side of Monmouth, young Grace and her sisters Veda and Vera would walk each morning to Garfield School. As she would pass by the Monmouth College campus, considerably smaller in those days, Grace would admire the imposing dome on the new Wallace Hall, and the stateliness of the auditorium, and the recently completed Carnegie Library, never dreaming how familiar those buildings would become to her in future years. An outgoing girl, she enjoyed school, her friends, and outings such as church picnics. Though possessed of modest means, her parents were fun-loving and instilled in Grace a special zest for life. She remembers particularly the chautauquas held each summer on the college campus. A large tent that would seat 3,000 was erected, and people would camp out for 12 days to hear concerts, lectures, and sermons by such luminaries as John Philip Sousa, William Jennings Bryan, and Billy Sunday. Once, when one of the speakers asked her to volunteer to sing, 9-year-old Grace promptly stood up in her chair and sang "A Volunteer for Jesus." As a reward, she received a New Testament, which would accompany her on travels throughout her life. That she would volunteer to sing in public at such a tender age did not surprise anyone who knew her. While her siblings seemed less than musically inclined, Grace was born with music in her soul. She began performing on the family's old pump organ, playing by ear as 2 of her older sisters worked the pedals, which her legs were too short to reach. She began taking piano lessons and made her first public recital at the age of 10. Throughout elementary school and later, she would travel with her teacher from school to school, performing in music classes. During high school, she kept 2 jobs, working in the music department of Caldwell's department store and playing piano for the silent movies downtown. Also during high school, she met a handsome young man who later shared her life and dreams, Harold A. Peterson, 6 years her senior, whom she affectionately called B. A sailor, a professional wrestler, and most important, a good dancer, he captured Grace's attention as no one else could. After graduating from high school, Grace entered the Monmouth College Conservatory of Music in 1917, where she met the second most influential person in her life, Miss Edna B. Riggs. A perfectionist and a taskmaster, Miss Riggs did her best to correct the unique style of piano playing Grace had developed largely on her own. Yet she was impressed by the natural ability of her instrument and convinced Grace to begin teaching piano to other students. In 1921, a year before she would receive her degree, Grace started teaching at Monmouth College, a career which would span a half-century. But busy as she was in the classroom, her thoughts kept straying to her handsome young wrestler. On Christmas Day, 1925, Grace teamed with her younger sister Alice to form the Gawthrop sisters. Alice's husband Roy and Petey would drive the budding artists to county fairs throughout the Midwest, and they even performed in Chicago for the founder of the Maytag Company. With the arrival of Alice's children, the duo split up, and Grace found another outlet for her energies. She directed the Second UP Church Choir and instituted an annual candlelight service, which for 20 years was the highlight of the Christmas season in Monmouth. During the 40s and 50s, Grace's affinity for the stage was rekindled, and as sponsor of the College Glee Club, she produced extravaganza after extravaganza with stage shows at the local theater, offered twice a year with titles such as Musicals and Scandals. The reviews became the most sought-after ticket in town.
I know all of us here tonight have rich memories of our friendship with Gracie, and I found myself wondering how many of those present might have been students of hers at Monmouth College, or appeared in one of her many shows, or perhaps taken music lessons from her, piano lessons, or anything else. And if we could have the house lights for a moment, I'd just like to see the number of people. Would you please rise if you have had that kind of experience with Gracie? Gracie, you have to know that these people love you. One of the people who fits this category has joined us tonight all the way from Connecticut. Carol Toll, a native of Monmouth and a member of Monmouth's class of 1952, is going to come up here and tell you a little about what it was like to be a music student at Monmouth, and perhaps we can get him to sing a song. Carol Toll.
Come out bearing equipment. This is a small testimonial here we're going to give to Gracie. A wireless mic in the stand in case she wants to make any announcements at any time. She's free to make it. With me here is Mr. Leo Raymer, and he'll be singing a song for you, but I wanted first to tell you what happened the first time I met Gracie. Gracie told me to tell the truth, so I guess I have. I was trying out for Gracie's show. I looked forward to that since I was about 11 years old, because as you heard, I came from Monmouth, and so I was seeing Gracie's shows long before I ever went to Monmouth College. And Gracie had her tryouts for her shows in her studio, which was on the second floor of what is now the alumni office, but was then the Fine Arts Building at Monmouth College. You went up the broad staircase in the room with all the beautiful paneling in it, and then you went into Gracie's studio on the second floor and saw, first of all, a wall lined with about 1,000 pictures. Hundreds of pictures of Gracie and her kids. And I was going to do my best to try to be one of those kids. And there sat Gracie at the grand piano in the middle of the room with a big smile. And that was my first face-to-face, real close-up meeting with Gracie, although I'd seen her on the stage, of course. And she had the big voice and the great, glorious, hooting laugh that she has, and she wore long, dangly earrings. And I'd never seen or never met anyone like that in my life, and I was terrified. But it took her about 5 minutes to get me over my terror. I realized that she loved me. And certainly she has proved that, I don't know how often, to me over the years, but also to thousands and thousands of others who are affectionately known as Gracie's kids.
Yeah.
And that's Gracie's kid. And one of Gracie's kids, you're going to meet another one in just a few minutes. And so, commencing in 1942, these shows were done. And they got to be real extravaganzas with black light numbers and fancy staging and a whole bunch of other stuff. But they started off with songs from the World War II era. And one of the songs in the World War II era was a 1944 hit by Bing Crosby. And it was also a memorable recording by Joe Stafford. And this song I would like to sing for you this evening. I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In a small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut tree, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and wherever I is you, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you, Gracie,
I can't resist telling you that I was a member of the chorus of that 1942 inaugural show at the Rivoli, and I'm amazed and befuddled by the fact that the show somehow seemed to prosper in spite of me. I cannot believe it. You know, of course, that Gracie loves show tunes. A lot of the songs which are used were taken from Broadway hits, one of which had a Scottish theme. Brigadoon came out in 1947, right in the midst of the Monmouth College career of yet another of Gracie's star students, Floyd Hirschberger. Floyd has had a long career in music. He's the owner of the Hirschberger Music Company in McCook, Nebraska, and he too traveled a lot of miles to be here. I know he would have missed it for the world. But we're going to reward him, and he's going to reward all of you with his rendition of the most remembered song from Brigadoon, a number that Gracie used in her 1949 show, Hits and Misses. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend Floyd Hirschberger.
That Brigadoon had a great effect on my life. I think I had two daughters, and one of them named Lori, and the other one Bonnie Jean. And been singing those songs ever since. But this one is the favorite. I'm singing to a beautiful young lady I met Brigadoon this yesterday. It's first thing in the morning. Can't we two go walking together out beyond the valley of trees, out where
You brought back a lot of great memories, the two of you. However, many of you here tonight were maybe have been born too late to experience the magical nights of the Rivoli, or the Christmas candlelight concerts at Old Second Church, or the Riggs Peterson 2 piano recitals. You've come to know Gracie perhaps from piano lessons, the more recent travel logs, or Sundays at Mellings. Even after her retirement from the college in 1972, Gracie has remained very active. She probably will never slow down. And all kinds of new memories have been forged as a result of this. I think we have a few shots on our video of these later days. Is that not right? If so, we'll see it.
The 1960s were the start of a new era for Gracie. Her beloved Edie died, and so did her lifelong friend and mentor, Miss Riggs. Instead of dwelling on the sadness, she made the most of the situation, and using a generous inheritance from Miss Riggs, decided to see the world. Over the next several years, she saw the world: Europe, Africa, China, Australia, Mexico, South America. The forever showman, Gracie transformed her travel experiences into musical travelogues and shared her experiences with thousands who could almost see the colorful stained glass of the French cathedrals as she played. In honor of her lifetime of service to Monmouth College, the college's 1970 homecoming festivities were dedicated to Gracie. The entire city of Monmouth turned out to celebrate Gracie Peterson Day. 2 years later, on her 50th anniversary of teaching, she retired from the faculty, but she will never retire from.
As you all know, Gracie has been synonymous with music in the Monmouth community for the better part of 9 decades. All of us should feel very fortunate that the tradition of music at Monmouth College does not stagger. Today, one of our newest faculty members who shares Gracie's passion for music and her willingness to travel is Dr. Perry White. Perry has been in Monmouth since 1988, and he's brought fresh vitality to the music department. One of the first things he did when he arrived was bring back the Monmouth College Chorale. Now, in just about 12 hours, believe it or not, Perry and the Chorale will be setting out on a 7-state concert tour. So, we're very grateful to Perry and his students, the members of the Chorale, for finding time in their busy schedule to be here tonight in the midst of a very, very busy undertaking. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Perry White and the Monmouth College Chorale.
7-state tour. Our first performance tomorrow night is in Kettering, Ohio, at Sugar Creek Presbyterian Church. The significance of that church is that T.H. McMichael, president of Monmouth College, was pastor at Sugar Creek right before coming to Monmouth College. Other significance of that is my former accompanist as an undergrad at Luther College is now the pastor there, so that's a sign. The first selection we sang for you and the second selection we sing are two pieces from the first section of our tour, which features music of England. This is the first piece by Orlando Gibbons and the second piece by William Byrd, coming from the late Renaissance. This is Ave Very Corpus. young, he's a very, very young American composer, 2 years older than I am. The name of the composer is Kurt Bestor. Kurt Bestor worked in the early 90s in a children's hospital in Sarajevo. One sunny afternoon, he left this children's hospital and brought in supplies. When he returned, he found nothing but rubble. What sprang from that was this piece, which was as much therapeutic as it was art. We'll feature just the gentleman, of course, in Prayer for the Children. I'm sure many of you have sung it. This is Ezekiel Saw the Wheel. We will feature as our tenor soloist Mr. John McLean from Tucson, Arizona.
Ezekiel saw the wheel, way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way in the middle of the air. The big wheel run by faith, and the little wheel run by the grace of God. All wheeling, way in the middle of the air. Better mind, my brother, how you walk on the cross. Way in the middle of the air. Your foot might slip and your soul get lost. Way in the middle of the air. Oh, Satan wears a clubfoot shoe. Way in the middle of the air. If you don't mind, he'll slip it on you. Way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way in the middle of the air. The big wheel run by faith, and the little wheel run by the grace of God. All wheel, way in the middle of the air.
Some go to church for to sing and shout.
Some go to church for to sing and shout. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Before 6 months days all turned out.
Way in the middle of the air. Doomaluma, 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 doomaluma. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel, way in the middle of the
Thank you, Perry, and thank you, Monmouth College Chorale. Gracie would be the first to tell you that no program of this sort should wind up without 2 or 3 rousing Monmouth College songs. So she has made her way back to the stage, and she is coming along. Here she comes. You have to play again, Gracie.
Yep, we're on.
You're on the sing. It better be good.
Gracie will begin with the familiar Monmouth College hymn, Straight from the Heart of, and nowadays I think it's straight from the heart of everyone, but I am announcing that it is straight from the heart of every man, the way it is written. Love and loyalty. I gotta go back to old dancing in Monmouth College to get our knowledge. We swing a link and push the band along. In Monmouth College to get our knowledge. We swing a link and push the band along. We swing a link, and push the band, the band, the band. We swing a link and push the band along. In Monmouth College to get our knowledge. We swing a link and push the band along. And how about loyalty? Gracie has one more tune to play for you, but I think she does. She's not going to play. No, I'm sorry. But before the next event, we have a very special one. One of the great traditions of show business is the awarding of floral tributes to performers at the conclusion of the evening. I think it'd be fair to say that with all the wonderful music we've heard tonight, the real star of the show is none other than Gracie Peterson. So the floral tributes go to her. And there are four gentlemen who are going to present them. The president of 3 Rotary clubs, Randy McElway of Monmouth Rotary, Tom Hiles of Galesburg Noon Rotary, Marty Reichel of Galesburg Sunrise Rotary, and with them, the distinguished president of Monmouth College, Dr. Richard Gracie. Share my feeling that this has been a memorable and historic evening. It's not finished yet, though. Following the program, you're all invited to an informal reception next door at the Kensington Ballroom, where you can enjoy some refreshments, greet friends, and say hi to Gracie. So we hope you will come. And now, Gracie, in celebration of 100 wonderful years, the Monmouth College Chorale sings for you, in your honor, A Flame of White and Crimson. You don't have to play. She's going to play. We love you, Gracie. Thanks so much to all of you who have come to be with us tonight, and thanks to all of you who did so much to make this program a wonderful tribute to our wonderful Gracie Peterson. Good night. We'll see you at the reception, and God bless you all.
She is fantastic, and she will never grow old in our eyes.
Gracie used to come with her show to Colebrook School, which was a little country school, and Lauren and I, as young marrieds, would go to PTA. I mean, we didn't have children or anything, but we would go just to see the show. Standing room only. Wonderful.
She's just incredible. She has both vitality and a sense of humor and a quickness of wit that is absolutely astounding. And musically, she can play classical stuff, and she can make everything just flow together. She'd have been a wonderful jazz pianist.
It's thrilling because it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And for these students, as we head out and go on our tour, we run into alums from all over, but quite a few of our alums from the 50s and 60s, and people who worked with Gracie. And now these students who never knew Gracie before are going to have a kinship with some of those older alums that I'm sure they'll talk about as our older alums are hosting them as we go out and about and sing in the 7-state tour. So I think it's exhilarating, and the students were exhilarated by the whole thing. I don't think they knew what they were getting into.
I took lessons from Gracie Peterson for 10 years at Monmouth College, and she's been a dear, dear family friend. She and her husband Petey were good friends of my parents. We were together as a family many times around the dining room table for homemade ice cream and chicken and noodles, and she is a dear, dear friend.
I knew Gracie from way back when her husband, before he passed away, and we've known her for 50 years. So, and my wife is a graduate of Monmouth College, and I thought this was just a great, great, great tribute. She's really a great lady.
We got engaged at Gracie's house. So she's extra special.
We did that in 1946. 1946, in Gracie's front room.
Why is that? Well, she was a romantic kind of a person, and she saw the romance that was coming with us, so she wanted us to do that noble deed there.
Did she play?
No,
She left it. She left so that we'd have it all to ourselves for a while.
And again, her positive outlook. She never downgraded young people. She never wrung her hands and said, "Oh, woe is me, what's happening to the young people today?" She was always very, very positive. No matter how many mistakes she knew we were making in judgment, she was very positive.
Very proud to be part of it. And Rotary's proud of her too, because she gives a zest to whatever happens. She plays a tag on every song we sing. When we sing it and get finished and we think we're through, and then Gracie puts a little tag of her own on it. And it's an unforgettable gift.
I'm not sure I've ever seen anybody, regardless of the age, play piano quite like that live. She's a show person. She does. And that has shined through for all of the year.
Oh, I enjoyed it. Yes. I didn't have to do any work. I just could do nothing and laugh and smile and tell a lie.
She was here.
Mostly tell a lie.
What party are you planning next year?
Better than this. Better than this one. Will I be 101? Will I be 102 days? I will be. Well, so a year from now, I'll be another 101. Yeah. I love life. I want to live